Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode here at Coleman's Corner. I'm your host, Jared Coleman, and today we are going to be talking about why most MSPs operate without true visibility. So looking forward to diving into this cool topic. Most MSP owners believe they understand their business because they're inside it. They're constantly inside of it. They know the tickets, they know how they're resolved, they talk to their customers. But operational proximity, how close you are to the business, is not the same as operational visibility. Much different. And as an MSP grows, you have much bigger decisions to make. And if you don't gain the operational visibility, you're going to be using incomplete data and misleading information. Today, I want to talk about why operational visibility becomes one of the most important components for MSP maturity. Let's jump right in. When you're smaller MSP, when you're still growing, fewer clients, you're direct with your communication, you're in the business. It does make sense for you to have strong proximity to the business. You are the business. You are the system. You are delivery. You're involved everywhere. You hear every escalation. You see ticket patterns. You know the noisy customers just instinctively. You felt them. You feel the team workload. You're in the trenches with your team. Early stage MSPs often operate through proximity rather than any type of visibility. It's simple. It's less complex. It's much more straightforward. When growth happens, the complexity increases. Let's just point a few out. Ticket volume goes up. Ticket types have more variety. You have someone to oversee invoicing. You have someone to look over the service desk management. So you have more management layers. Your customers increase in quantity. There's more customers, more voices. The variety in your operations expands. As that expansion occurs, you can no longer see everything so clearly. You can't see it all directly. You have assumptions, but you're not able to validate every single one of them. Now you're going through your texts, you're going to understand the issue further to try and validate because you don't have the heartbeat and you're not in there like you used to be. And you can't continue to validate and fill those gaps. There comes a point, I said in the last episode, that you can't fill all the gaps over time. You will burn yourself out. You slowly start. And once this starts happening, you know you need to get something in place. So your intuition, your assumptions, the complexity will eventually get you a position where it doesn't work anymore. It exceeds your ability, your intuition ability. Complexity eventually exceeds your intuition. So let's talk about what you can't see. Big things that stand out operationally. One is client profitability. I hit this every single time. It's one of the biggest metrics. Revenue, MRR, you know how big you are, you know what your set to grow plan is. If you didn't grow another customer the rest of the year, you know how much money you'd hit. But labor consumption is challenge. Which customers are taking how much time of your techs? Ticket repetition, ticket inefficiencies, resolution time, first call resolution time. Some of these things for the client to be profitable, what's driving that process is complexity. Revenue visibility, how much you made, is not the same as operational visibility. Revenue visibility is not the same as operational visibility. I think you all know that. But you need to blend them. You need to attach the revenue and the profitability to the client. It's critical for success. The second area that you typically don't have is ticket behavior, reopen rates. Are you measuring reopen rates, escalations per week, individual technician performance? Be a good one. Imagine what it would look like. I know everybody's a little different, but if we can get everybody on the same system, tracking things the same way, you'll be able to see your top performers. And I have a feeling if you have about 6, 7, 8 techs out there, would love that report. I think you'd all be surprised by that. Callbacks. How many times is a ticket reopened? Man, it's such a killer. First call resolution and callbacks, those hand in hand. But when you don't have that visibility and it's just another ticket, it's just another ticket coming through, just getting things done. I mean, you're just tracking activity at that point. It's not always about tracking the activity, it's the behavior behind it. Strong MSP tracks the behavior. One of my favorite other areas where the MSPs usually can't see or get visibility into is leadership performance. If you don't have a leadership team, and it can be small, it can be 2, 3 of you guys, that's fine. But you can't just operate on intuition and emotion always. And if nobody's in the leadership seat, you're always accountable. You're accountable for everything. Ultimately, you're the business owner, so you are accountable for everything. You put those people in those seats. However, you can delegate more accountability to your team. And you don't want to be emotional about it. You don't want to make staffing decisions based on someone's had a hard week. You want to make it with data. Leaders without operational visibility, what do? They go to intuition, urgency. They get emotional and move faster than is necessary. You need the operational visibility. You need quantity of tickets, resolution time, customer profitability, margin to MRR. There's a lot of metrics that go involved before you need to hire your next person, and you can't just do it based on intuition. All right, stability. It's hard to see delivery quality, assurance, delivery stability, the service consistency, operational bottlenecks. How long does it take to get a quote out? How long does it take to schedule on-site? How long does it take from when a tech escalates for the next tech to take a look at it? Where do you see your failure patterns? Can you identify failure patterns based on the data you have now? And what do you need to track to get there? So now, let's talk about why the visibility. I just talked to an MSP the other day, not doing ticket type and subtype or tracking time. But guess what? They're at that $1.5 to $2 million mark, overcompensating. And without tracking it, they're not going to know the directions they need to move to increase the margins to allow them to take on more revenue and prevent customer churn. Why? One, you can track everything. You can track so much. The tools that are provided to us in this MSP space are beyond anything that we've ever had in the past. There's a ton of metrics you can measure. Which one should you measure? There's an order of a progression there. And it requires discipline. It's a culture. Time tracking is a culture in a company. You will have tremendous resistance when you start doing time tracking. If you have not done it and you have techs who have been there a couple of years and they have not done time tracking in the past and they're forced to now, it is a culture shift. It's a hard one. Discipline. It's hard to have everybody. I know why. I know I can't get there sometimes. It's because it's forcing people to do things they don't want to do for the health of the business. Brings accountability. That feels like Big Brother. Oh, you're going to see what I'm doing. And yeah, we're going to see what you're doing. We need people to be accountable. We need to know how long it takes you to do a ticket. We need to see where we can help make you better. We're not over your shoulder trying to play Big Brother, but we need the data and we need the metrics so we can make better decisions. Make operations consistent. You can't have a customer call in for a minor issue that takes 30 minutes with one tech and 5 minutes with another. You can't. They will hang up and call back and and then they start asking, "Oh, can I speak to Aaron?" They're going to ask for their favorite tech. Then you get favoritism and you get tribal knowledge. So you need documentation. It requires a lot of documentation as well. I get why you avoid it. It's a beast to try and get that visibility. On top of, I'm too busy. I got QBRs. I got new customers. I need to get the SOW out. I need to do invoicing. I need to do payroll. I need to do shipping and receiving. I'm too busy. We already know the problem. I already know what I need to do. I like this one. Yeah, we just don't do it very well. We kind of track time. We track time on projects. Culture, I told you about that. But another one, this isn't the full story. It doesn't show the full story. Those tickets don't show the full story there. Truth to it, we are busy. We do know some of the problems and we don't need metrics to tell us. Yes, time tracking is the bane of everybody's existence, but when you're in MSP world, you track time. That is your job. That is an expectation. they go anywhere else, they're going to track time. So you're helping them with their career as well. Quality note taking and time tracking. So, but without that visibility, like I said, you're going to have emotional response. You're going to reactively hire. Quality concerns on your delivery and your operations. Yeah, let's talk to the next one. I'll save that for that next point for the next one. It's about leadership. But measure what matters. And you can't control what you cannot clearly see. Cannot govern what you cannot clearly see. Let's talk about governance a little bit. When the visibility improves, you'll be able to forecast appropriately. You'll know where you stand on your hiring, whether you're overhired, underhired. You'll be able to see the types of tickets that come through. So do you have enough L1s, L2s, L3s? Do you have the right people in the right seats? Accountability is no longer subjective. Oh, you should have done that. That's your responsibility. It's very clear. When you start tracking numbers on a weekly basis with the leadership team and the cadence is there and the team's accountable to those numbers, boom. Make accountability the objective. Oh, think about that. Make a delegation, right? Because you're trying to elevate yourself up into a board seat in this way, right? You're leading the company. You're not in the day-to-day. And how do you do that? You delegate tasks. You make people accountable. You need the metrics. You need numbers to judge their performance on. And when they're doing well, they will show up to that leadership cadence. There will not be any type of emergency. If there's an emergency, that's an escalation that they need to handle, we're already having a breakout session. And once you start getting this, the bottlenecks will surface quickly. Someone who's on track to be in the green and they have an issue that's putting them in the red, they're going to bring that forward. I can't do my job until these 3 things are remediated. These bottlenecks are preventing me from doing my job to a number to which I am accountable for. That's when you know you got the issues. It'll bring it up and it will help you elevate. You'll resolve those issues. That person will be accountable for their number and they'll do a great job. So this visibility will convert emotional management, reactivity, into measurable governance. Measurable governance. There's about 5 to 10 weekly metrics you should be looking at. There's another set of 10 monthly metrics. There's not that many that will truly drive the performance of the MSP in the right direction. You don't need a lot. And it will bring you that clarity, keep people accountable, better decisions. You elevate up. And this is not micromanagement. Think way differently. Think this is not micromanagement. More macro management than anything. You're allowing people to perform their best towards a number. And each number has their specific ways you impact that. Each person has their own way to make sure that they can keep that number in the range it needs to be in. And then we have visibility into maturity. So we get there. We get this visibility. We have these metrics. I've been touching on it a little bit. Let's go on one more layer deeper. If the service desk manager is being held accountable to number of tickets or first call resolution, escalations, they can do a few things. Documentation is one. Onboarding, you will find when they go through, oh, we couldn't resolve that. That took us 15 extra minutes because we didn't know this. Add this component now into the onboarding. No, we don't have access to their DNS records. Add that into the onboarding. The ticket structure needs to be clear. You can have such a strong MSP that they can all be in the same room and don't even have to talk to each other. When you have your ticket structure laid out and your ticket workflow laid out, they don't even have to talk. That's just coming through into their queue, into their visibility and what they're watching and what they're working on. They know exactly what they need to work on next. All the documentation is there. They don't even need to do handoff. But SOP discipline, man, you got to gamify that. That's one way to get that up. Who can produce the most SOPs? Yep, especially for specific customers. Documentation needs to be there. They should go to running through IT glue and running through SOPs. Escalation consistency. How many escalations did you have? You have to keep it under a certain amount. So if anybody escalates, if they escalate something small, why'd you escalate that? Root cause on all those. Every escalation gets a root cause. The service desk manager should be, why did that get escalated? No document, no SOP. Create SOP, create the documentation, drop it in there. That ticket, that prevents it. It will slowly decline over time if you root cause all those. But the leadership cadence will bring it together because you'll be able to see it. They'll be able to speak to those. We had 8 escalations this week. It was high for them because the onboarding from the new customer this week was incomplete. We've updated the onboarding documentation. We got 5 new SOPs inside of IT Glue. Do you think those 5 will come back next week? Nope. They won't. Could have another variety set, but it won't be those ones. So you need to intentionally create visibility here. Right, going back to those 8 escalations, if they had those 8 escalations, are you tracking them enough that they can go find those easily and create the root causes for them and follow up with the text and create the documentation? Do they have the visibility to do that? And this is the type of thing I'm talking about, like getting the visibility into your operations so you can move forward. But you won't know to do that if you're not monitoring or having one of the metrics be escalations this week. How many escalations were there this week? 8. What did you do about them? It's so simple to manage. You don't have to manage. There's no emotion. It is numbers. Here's this. Oh, it's good. 4 escalations. It's under our 5. Any questions, concerns about those 4? Nope. All under control. Fabulous. It's quick. It's easy. People know exactly what they're working towards. They understand the goal, the mission, and where they contribute to it. And that's what I do here at JC Access. I help put in, you don't have to think and try and understand and figure out which metrics you need to manage, which ones you need to work towards to give you that operational visibility, to give you that governance discipline, that discipline that you need to have each week. Instead of asking your rep, hey, we had a lot of escalations this week. And then the next week saying, oh, wow, you guys closed. We had 20 more tickets this week than last week. And every time you make a comment and they're uncertain of which one they're responsible for, right? Let's be disciplined. Let's create the visibility. Let's have consistent governance, consistent controls. Leadership will execute. You will be surprised. 2-3 weeks in of having a system like this, you'll be in shock at how fast forward things move and how operationally smoother things become, and the freedom that you will gain to do more. However, visibility is like the foundational requirement for this. It's foundation. You have to have it. You have to start tracking it. Go start, ticket type, subtype, time tracking. If you need help, give me a call. We can talk about it. Number one, you got to get that. You miss so many types of metrics. You can't do client level profitability. Can't do tech analysis. You have to have the ticket type, subtype, and time tracking. Go get it. Go get it done. If you're waiting for somebody to tell you and when to do it, it was yesterday. It was a year ago. There's no better time than now. Go start it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start. Just start. You can clean it up later. So these are for my customers in that 1 million to 3 million range where their intuition is running thin and you can't clearly see. The growth has increased the complexity faster than the visibility has evolved. You didn't put it in. You didn't strive intentionally for your visibility. Without the visibility, leadership becomes reactive. Staffing becomes emotional. Accountability is forgotten. Sporadic. I think that's all I have today on this topic. Feel free to reach out. info@jcaccess.co. Find me on LinkedIn. Let's connect.